And you know what time it is? It's time for KP's video news. KP's video news, y'all. That's right. It's time for KP's video news, y'all. And I'm telling you, folks, if you didn't see that last article that I did, you have to see it. That was part one of the Trump recession, the bankruptcy of America. Trump recession, the bankruptcy of America. You gotta go check that video out. Gotta go check it out, folks. And that would be video. Which video number would that be? That would be video 518. And this is 519. I'm gonna do this couple of follow-ups, and then I'm gonna do part two. That was part one. That Trump part one is 518. Part one. But this one right here is gonna be about prosecutor. Okay, so what happened in last week? We got the verdicts. Actually, this week we got the verdicts from the Ahmaud Arbery case, and the people that killed Ahmaud Arbery have been found guilty, and so therefore we're waiting on see what about their sentences and everything. But the thing that leads up to this is that you had a prosecutor, ex district attorney Jackie Johnson was an ex district attorney who obstructed cops from making arrests in the Ahmaud Arbery murder trial, and Johnson was indicted on counts of obstruction and violations of oath in connection to the allegations that she deliberately delayed the arrest of the Gregory's, Travis and Brian. And so, what she did was Wednesday, same day, the three attackers were convicted of murder. Jackie Johnson, a former Brunswick Judicial Circuit district attorney, turned herself in, was later released on bond, and she was released on an OR on recognizance and was not required to pay the posted $10,000 bail, according to the Atlanta Republic. And it said Johnson is accused of discouraging the police from making arrests in connection with the Arbery death and misleading cops following the arrest. Johnson was indicted by a grand jury and now faces felony charges for violating her oath of office and a misdemeanor for obstructing police work. She misguided police and obstructed them from taking any action following Arbery's death, which included preventing cops from making the arrest. Interestingly, she turned herself in following which she was arrested on the same day. The three other men, Travis Michael, 35, his father Gregory Michael, 65, and their friend William Bryant, were all convicted of Arbery's murder. Johnson was indicted on counts of obstruction in violation of the oath in connection to allegations that she was deliberately delayed the arrest of Gregory, Travis, and Bryant. Prosecutors and Arbery's parents believed that she was trying to help prevent the men from going to trial. However, Johnson denied any wrongdoing and said she decided to withdraw her office from the case because one of Arbery's attackers, Gregory, had been an employee, which would have been in conflict of interest as she continued in the case. The state prosecutors accused Johnson of violating her oath by showing favor and affection to Gregory McMichael and obstructing the case by directing that Travis McMichael should not be placed under arrest. An indictment also alleges that Johnson failed to treat Ahmaud Arbery and the family with fairly and with dignity. She should spend time in prison, said Lee Merritt, an attorney for Ahmaud Arbery's mother. Said her actions are not just acts of negligence, but she actively worked to cover up the murder. And we got Twitter users that was out. They all calling for Johnson's conviction. So on that day, February 23rd, 2020, Arbery was jogging when the three white men chased after him in their cars and trucks, cornered him, and gunned him down. Arbery was first confronted by the Travis and Gregory, who claimed he was a suspect in a series of alleged local break-ins. The McMichaels then reportedly went to make a citizen's arrest by following him in their white pickup truck while armed with a pistol and a shotgun. After exiting the truck, Travis fatally shot Arbery 3 times with the shotgun and later claimed self-defense. 3 times with a shotgun. Come on now. Just shooting the gun in the air would have been enough to make anybody stop. But you had to shoot him 3 times with a shotgun? Well, anyway, Johnson was indicted on September 2nd on misconduct charges alleging that she used her position to shield the men who chased and killed Arbery from being charged with the crimes and immediately after the shootings. And she allegedly instructed 2 Glenn County police officers not to arrest Travis, who shot and killed Arbery, and the indictment paper stated. So lock on up. You know, put on in there with the with the rest of the criminals that just got found guilty. Okay, we have it was a guy, I talked about this story last week, and it was a man that served 43 years in state prison in the state of Missouri, and once he got out, the state was like, even though you were found not guilty and you've been exonerated and we let you go, he's not eligible to get not one penny from that state. Had he been arrested for the crime in across state lines in Kansas, he would have been able to collect $2.4 million, according to this report. So Kevin Strickland was exonerated Tuesday morning after serving decades at the Western Missouri Correctional Center in Cameron, Missouri. And Strickland was convicted in '79 of 1 count of capital murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder to a triple homicide. He received a 50-year to life sentence without the possibility of parole for a crime that over the years he maintained he had not been involved in. Senior Judge James Weiss dismissed all criminal counts against Strickland, and his release makes his confinement to the longest wrongful imprisonment in the state Missouri history and one of the longest in the nation, according to the National Registry of Exonerations. And the Midwest Innocence Project created a GoFundMe page to help Strickland restart his life, since he doesn't qualify for help from the state of Missouri. In Missouri, only those exonerated through DNA testing are eligible for the $50 per day of post-conviction confinement, according to the Innocent Project, and that was not the case for Strickland. And the fund that's created with the goal of raising $7,500, which the fund says would amount to approximately $175 for every year Strickland was wrongly convicted. And so far, 36 states in Washington, D.C. have laws on the books, pertaining to people being exonerated and giving finances, for being wrongfully in prison. So far, thousands of people have raised more than $1 million for Mr. Strickland. That's the people doing something for this man, not the state, not the government, the people. And I'm so happy about that. And he's going to get a chance to get to start back in life, man. 43 years, man. Lost. That's a whole lifetime. And the way that some of these kids are living nowadays, and you say they some of them are not even making it to be 20. So that's 2 lifetimes. Okay, here we go with the next story. We had a trial for black teen caught on camera in brutal arrest with Ocean City police begins. And if you don't remember this case, this whole thing began when Tazia Griffin, uh, you know, on Monday, conflicting testimonies from officers and witnesses, and so the thing happened when they had 2 kids that were on the boardwalk, and these cops came up, man, and just started harassing them and tasering these kids. So according to the testimony from Officer Cohen Vincent and Joseph Laughlin, the use of force was necessary to end the June 8th confrontation with Griffin, who was celebrating his high school graduation. Officers said that Griffin was violating a town ordinance that prohibited vaping on the boardwalk when they approached him. Griffin pushed past and raised the arm of an officer, which they considered an assault. These teenage kids now. Kids. Officer Vincent reports that even though he grabbed the back of the teen's shirt, Griffin kept walking, refusing to identify himself and comply with orders. Vincent also testified that Griffin threatened to kill the officers with what? A vape pen? None of this was caught on camera, of course. However, what we could see was Griffin with his hands up and Officer Laughlin deploying his taser when Griffin reached for his backpack strap. One witness said that Griffin probably reached for the strap to comply with the officer's orders to remove his backpack. Griffin's friend, Corey Ewing, 18, filmed the video, and a lawyer for Griffin asked whether the officer's accounts had been accurate. Not at all, she testified. Ewing said that when Vincent first approached Griffin, he grabbed the teen by the arm and said, "No vaping on the boardwalk." He was not aware, really, of the officers coming toward him. Somebody comes up and grabs you, and you're going to jump. You don't know who's grabbing you. It's a natural reaction. He said the officers converged quickly. All the officers were running up around him, Ewing said. There wasn't much time in between, and then they were all yelling. There was so many commands going on at once. He said the officers were yelling at Griffin to remove his backpack and to get on the ground. He said the officers hadn't asked Griffin to identify himself. He testified that no more than 20 seconds had passed between the officers approached Griffin and when he was shot with the taser. So these cops are on trial right now. These cops are on trial. So, it's crazy. The 2 officers couldn't even get on the same page during the defense's questioning about what was really the most dangerous moment of the altercation. So, most dangerous part of the altercation was you cops showing up, shooting teenage kids with tasers. Okay, here's a crazy story here, folks. They had a woman in Houston, Texas, man, at a convenience store. Woman, because she was frustrated with a video gambling machine, that's a slot machine. She got so upset that she squirted the machine with lighter fluid and set it on fire. That angered the second woman that was there because now she couldn't play anymore. And so, in fact, that individual was so frustrated because this person set the slot machine on fire, she pulled out a gun and shot the lady that set the fire. The gunshot victim was in the hospital, but in stable condition, and the suspected shooter was long gone by the time the police arrived. Wow. She just got shot, man. While you playing the slot machine, all of a sudden the person next to you just takes lighter fluid and squirts it all over the machine and set it on fire. And the lady, well, oh, wait a minute, boom. I'm getting ready to lose my money. Yeah, my money's in the machine. Yep. This last story here, I'm going to glance through it right quick. Cannabis King Mike Tyson accepts Malawi government's invite to become the country's official cannabis ambassador. Mike Tyson has accepted an invitation to become Malawi official cannabis ambassador, and the former world heavyweight champion, 55, has been selling cannabis products since 2016 through his Tyson Holistic label. But now he is set to become the face of the drug in Malawi after agreeing to offer from to an offer from Agriculture Minister Loban Low. Low said Malawi may not go it alone, as the industry is a complex and requires collaboration. I would therefore like to appoint you, Mr. Mike Tyson, as Malawi's cannabis branch ambassador. The deal is being facilitated in the United States Cannabis Association, and the head of Malawi branch confirmed that Tyson had accepted the proposal. Malawi are hoping to the move will rope in some investors and even potential buyers. It was announced recently as Tyson was launching a new company entitled Tyson 2.0, and the brand venture is said to be a step up from Mike Tyson's first cannabis brand, offering a wide array of products, including everything from his personal favorite flower to concentrates, edibles, beverages, and pre-roll cigarettes. Last year, Malawi, who grow a well-known strand of cannabis called Malawi Gold, legalized the use of cannabis for medicinal purposes, but it remains illegal recreationally. But the country has received criticism from the Center of Public Accountability and Malawian Civil Society Group for bringing Tyson in to become their cannabis ambassador. This is because he was convicted of a crime in 1992 before being released just 3 years later. So Tyson is believed to be making around $500,000 a month to his cannabis business, and that offers a premium marijuana strains, edibles, and extracts. Iron Mike is also building a 418-acre marijuana-themed holiday resort that he hopes will be home to a music festival that can rival Coachella, as well as the world's longest lazy river. All right, old Tyson boy got his Tyson marijuana farm stuff going on, man. He doing it. Trying to get that paper. I ain't mad at you, Mike. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're making that money legally, because it's legal. He's selling his marijuana in legal states like Nevada, California, and Colorado. It's basically legal on the whole West Coast. Oregon, Washington, Arizona. So it's legal. Marijuana is legal in a lot of states now, but for recreational purposes, the whole West Coast, with the exception of Utah, is they have legal marijuana for recreational use for adults. Okay, KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all.